Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your 2-hour ferry ride to work has been reduced to just 15 minutes. Imagine entire communities that have been separated by water for centuries suddenly connected by a single magnificent structure. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now in the Philippines, and what you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about modern engineering. A $5 billion bridge is rising from the waters, and it's not just connecting two pieces of land. It's connecting millions of dreams, transforming an entire nation's economy, and rewriting the future of Southeast Asia. But here's what nobody's telling you. This project almost didn't happen. The story of how this bridge came to be is just as incredible as the bridge itself. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this might be the most important infrastructure project of the decade. Let me take you back to understand why this bridge is so desperately needed. The Philippines is an archipelago of over 7,000 islands. Think about that for a second. 7,000 islands. While this creates some of the most breathtaking landscapes on Earth, it also creates a massive challenge that has held back the country's development for generations. Every single day, millions of Filipinos face a simple but devastating problem. They can't get to where they need to go. Farmers with fresh produce watch their crops spoil because they can't reach markets in time. Students miss educational opportunities because the nearest university requires a ferry ride and a prayer that the weather holds. Business owners lose millions because transporting goods between islands costs more than the goods themselves. Families are separated, not by choice, but by the simple fact that water divides them. This isn't just an inconvenience. This is an economic stranglehold that has cost the Philippine economy billions of dollars every single year. Studies have shown that the lack of efficient transportation infrastructure has been one of the biggest barriers to the country's growth. While neighboring countries built highways and rail systems, the Philippines faced a unique challenge. How do you connect a nation scattered across an ocean? For decades, ferries were the only answer. Slow, expensive, weather-dependent ferries that could take hours or even days when conditions were bad. Emergency medical services struggled to reach remote communities. Natural disasters became even more catastrophic because aid couldn't get through fast enough. The isolation wasn't just physical, it was economic, social, and psychological. But then, everything changed. Engineers, government officials, and visionaries looked at the impossible and decided to make it possible. They conceived of a bridge so ambitious, so technically complex, that many said it couldn't be done. A bridge that would span massive distances across open water, withstand typhoons, earthquakes, and the relentless force of ocean currents. A bridge that would cost $5 billion and require some of the most advanced engineering techniques ever developed. This is the story of that bridge, and trust me, the details will blow your mind. Let's talk about the sheer scale of what we're dealing with here. This isn't your average bridge that crosses a calm river. We're talking about a structure that stretches across kilometers of open ocean, connecting major population centers that have been isolated for all of human history. The bridge features massive cable-stayed towers that rise hundreds of feet into the air, supporting cables strong enough to hold thousands of vehicles at once. The main span alone is longer than many entire bridges around the world. To put this in perspective, if you laid this bridge down in a straight line, it would stretch farther than some people drive in a week. But size is just the beginning. The real marvel is in the engineering solutions that had to be invented specifically for this project. The foundation work alone is a masterpiece of modern construction. Engineers had to drill down through water, through sediment, through layers of rock, to create foundations stable enough to support the immense weight of the bridge, while also flexible enough to withstand seismic activity. The Philippines sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most geologically active regions on Earth. This bridge has to survive earthquakes that would level ordinary structures. It has to withstand typhoons with wind speeds that can exceed 200 kilometers per hour. It has to resist the corrosive effects of salt water that eats through concrete and steel like acid. The engineering team developed special concrete mixtures that are more resistant to saltwater corrosion. They designed expansion joints that can handle extreme temperature fluctuations and seismic movements. They created a monitoring system embedded throughout the bridge that constantly measures stress, movement, and structural integrity, essentially giving the bridge a nervous system that can detect problems before they become critical. Every single component, from the smallest bolt to the massive support cables, was engineered with redundancy and safety factors that exceed international standards. And here's something that will absolutely astound you. The construction process itself is a logistical miracle. Think about the challenges for a moment. You're building in the middle of the ocean. You can't just drive a truck full of materials to the construction site. Everything has to be transported by specialized vessels. Workers have to be ferried to and from the site. Weather windows have to be carefully calculated because you can't pour concrete in a typhoon or install cables in high winds. The construction vessels themselves are engineering marvels. Floating platforms equipped with massive cranes that can lift hundreds of tons while remaining stable in rolling seas. The project employed thousands of workers, from local laborers to international experts in bridge construction. Engineers from around the world collaborated on this project, bringing expertise from similar megaprojects across the globe. They studied bridges in Denmark, Japan, China, and the United States, taking the best techniques from each and adapting them to the unique challenges of the Philippine environment. Diverse worked underwater in challenging conditions to inspect and secure the foundations. Steelworkers assembled the massive girders and cables with precision measured in millimeters. Concrete specialists ensured that every pour met exacting standards. This was a true international effort, a testament to what humanity can achieve when we work together toward a common goal. Now, let's talk about what this bridge actually means for the people of the Philippines, because this is where the story becomes truly powerful. This isn't just about concrete and steel. This is about human potential being unlocked. Once this bridge is completed and operational, the economic impact will be immediate and profound. Travel times that used to take hours will take minutes. Goods that used to spoil in transit will reach markets fresh. Businesses that were limited by geography will suddenly have access to millions of new customers. Real estate values in previously isolated areas will skyrocket as people realize they can now live in beautiful, affordable locations and still access urban job centers. Think about the young student who dreams of becoming a doctor but couldn't attend medical school because it was on another island. Now that dream is accessible. Think about the entrepreneur who has a brilliant business idea but couldn't access the capital or markets needed to make it work. Now that barrier is gone. Think about the elderly person who needs specialized medical care that's only available in major cities. Now that care is within reach. This bridge is literally saving lives, creating prosperity, and opening doors that were previously locked shut. The environmental planning that went into this project is equally impressive. Engineers worked extensively to minimize the impact on marine ecosystems. They carefully selected bridge pier locations to avoid coral reefs and critical marine habitats. They implemented construction techniques that reduced underwater noise pollution, which can be devastating to marine life. They created artificial reef structures around some of the bridge supports to actually enhance marine biodiversity. This wasn't just about building a bridge. It was about building a bridge responsibly, in harmony with the natural environment. But let me tell you about the challenges that almost derailed this entire project, because this is where the story gets really interesting. Funding a $5 billion project is no small feat. It required coordination between government agencies, international development banks, private investors, and engineering firms. There were moments when financing fell through. There were political challenges when different groups disagreed on the route or the design. There were technical setbacks when initial foundation tests revealed unexpected geological conditions that required complete redesigns. There were weather delays that pushed the timeline back by months. There were supply chain disruptions that made critical materials unavailable. Each of these challenges could have killed the project entirely. But the team persevered. When financing dried up, they found new investors who believed in the vision. When political opposition arose, they engaged in dialogue and found compromises that satisfied all parties. When technical problems emerged, engineers went back to the drawing board and innovated solutions. When weather disrupted the schedule, they adapted their construction techniques to work more efficiently during favorable conditions. This bridge exists because thousands of people refused to give up, refused to accept that it was impossible, and refused to let obstacles stand in the way of progress. The technology incorporated into this bridge represents the cutting edge of civil engineering. The bridge includes sensors that monitor everything from wind speed to structural stress to traffic flow. This data is fed into advanced computer systems that can predict maintenance needs before failures occur, dramatically extending the life of the structure and ensuring safety. The lighting system isn't just functional. It's a work of art that illuminates the bridge in ways that make it a landmark visible for miles. The road surface uses advanced materials that reduce noise, improve traction, and last longer than traditional asphalt. Even the barriers and railings were designed with both safety and aesthetics in mind, creating a structure that's as beautiful as it is functional. And here's something that gives you a sense of the bridge's impact on the regional economy. Economic models predict that this single infrastructure project will add billions to the Philippine GDP over the next decade. That's not speculation. That's based on hard data from similar projects around the world. When you connect previously isolated regions, economic activity doesn't just increase, it explodes. New businesses emerge. Existing businesses expand. Property values rise. Tax revenues increase. Employment opportunities multiply. The bridge becomes a catalyst for development that spreads outward in waves, transforming entire regions. International recognition for this project has been remarkable. Engineering societies around the world have taken notice of the innovative techniques developed specifically for this bridge. Several aspects of the design and construction are likely to be studied and replicated in future bridge projects globally. The Philippines has demonstrated that developing nations can execute world-class infrastructure projects that rival anything built in more developed countries. This is a source of immense national pride and a signal to the world that the Philippines is a serious player in the global economy. The bridge is also becoming a tourist attraction in its own right. People are already planning trips specifically to see and cross this engineering marvel. The views from the bridge are spectacular, offering panoramas of the Philippine landscape that simply aren't available anywhere else. Tourism infrastructure is already being developed around both ends of the bridge, creating yet another economic benefit that will generate jobs and revenue for decades to come. Hotels, restaurants, observation decks, museums dedicated to the bridge's construction. All of these are in development, creating a ripple effect of economic opportunity. Let's talk about what this means for future infrastructure development in the Philippines and across Southeast Asia. This bridge is just the beginning. Its success is paving the way for even more ambitious projects. Other island connections are now being seriously considered. Rail systems that once seemed impossible are back on the planning table. The techniques and lessons learned from this project are being applied to new challenges. The Philippines is building momentum, and that momentum is creating a vision of a fully connected nation where geography is no longer a barrier to prosperity. The human stories emerging from this project are incredibly moving. I've heard accounts of construction workers who take immense pride in their contribution to something that will outlive them by generations. Engineers who say this is the highlight of their careers, the project they'll tell their grandchildren about. Local residents who break down in tears when they talk about finally being connected to the rest of the country. Business owners who are already seeing their revenues increase in anticipation of the bridge's completion. These aren't just statistics. These are real people whose lives are being transformed. And here's something that often gets overlooked: the knowledge transfer that occurred during this project. Thousands of Filipino engineers, workers, and technicians gained experience and skills that are world-class. They learned advanced construction techniques, project management, quality control, and safety protocols that meet or exceed international standards. This human capital development is itself a massive benefit that will pay dividends for decades as these skilled professionals work on future projects throughout the country and the region. The bridge also serves as a powerful symbol of what's possible when a nation commits to investing in its future. For too long, the Philippines has struggled with infrastructure deficits that held back its development despite having a young, educated, entrepreneurial population. This bridge represents a turning point, a commitment to building the physical foundations that allow human potential to flourish. It sends a message to every Filipino that their government is serious about creating opportunities, about connecting communities, about building a prosperous future. Now, as this magnificent structure nears completion, the anticipation is building to a fever pitch. People are counting down to the day when they can finally drive across it, when they can experience firsthand the transformation from isolation to connection. The first vehicles to cross will be making history. The first businesses to transport goods across it will be pioneers in a new economic era. The first families to reunite easily because of it will be experiencing something their ancestors could only dream about. But here's the thing that I want you to really understand, and this is crucial. This bridge is more than a physical structure. It's a statement about human ambition, ingenuity, and determination. It's proof that we can overcome seemingly impossible obstacles when we combine vision with expertise and perseverance. It's a reminder that infrastructure isn't just about economics. It's about dignity, opportunity, and the fundamental human right to access the resources and connections needed to build a good life. Every bridge, every road, every piece of infrastructure is ultimately about people. It's about honoring their potential and removing the barriers that hold them back. The $5 billion price tag might seem enormous, but when you divide it by the millions of people who will benefit, when you calculate it over the decades this bridge will serve, when you factor in all the economic activity it will generate, it's actually one of the best investments the Philippines has ever made. The return on investment will be measured not just in money but in lives improved, dreams realized, and potential unleashed. That's the true value of great infrastructure. As we look to the future, this bridge stands as an inspiration for what else might be possible. If we can build this, what else can we achieve? What other impossible-seeming challenges can we overcome? The bridge is teaching us that limitations are often just a lack of imagination or will, not genuine impossibilities. It's teaching us that investing in infrastructure is investing in people. It's teaching us that connection, real, physical connection, still matters enormously even in our digital age. And now, I want to talk directly to you, because this is important. If this video has inspired you, if this story of human achievement and transformation has moved you, if you believe that sharing stories of innovation and progress matters, then I need you to do something right now. I need you to smash that subscribe button like your life depends on it. Because here's the truth. Channels like this live or die based on whether people like you decide to support them. Every single subscription tells the algorithm that this content matters, that stories of human achievement deserve to be seen, that engineering and infrastructure and progress are things we should celebrate. And when you hit that notification bell, you're ensuring you'll never miss another story that could change the way you see the world. But I'm not done yet. I also need you to share this video. Send it to your family. Post it in your group chats. Share it on your social media. Because here's what happens when you share content like this. You're not just passing along information, you're inspiring others. You're showing people what's possible. You're combating the cynicism and negativity that dominates so much of our media landscape. You're being part of a community that believes in progress, in human potential, in the power of great engineering to transform lives. And honestly, the world needs more of that right now. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think about this bridge. Tell me about infrastructure projects in your country. Tell me what you want to see in future videos. The comments section is where this community comes alive, where we learn from each other, where we share ideas and perspectives from around the world. Don't just watch passively. Engage, contribute, be part of this conversation. Your voice matters, your perspective matters, and I genuinely want to hear from you. And if you really want to support this channel and see more content like this, consider joining as a member or supporting through Patreon. Those contributions allow me to invest in better equipment, deeper research, more ambitious projects. They allow me to keep making these videos without compromising on quality or selling out to sponsors who don't align with our values. Every bit of support helps me dedicate more time to bringing you the stories that inspire, educate, and remind us of what humanity can achieve. The bridge we've explored today is just one story among thousands of incredible human achievements happening right now around the world. There are engineers, builders, innovators, and visionaries working on projects that will shape our future in ways we can barely imagine. And my mission is to bring those stories to you, to celebrate human ingenuity, to show you that despite all the challenges we face, we are still capable of incredible things. But I can only do that with your support, with your engagement, with your decision to be part of this community. So here's my final challenge to you. Don't just be a passive observer of the world. Be someone who celebrates progress, who supports innovation, who spreads stories of human achievement. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. Share this video with everyone you know. Leave a comment. Join the conversation. Be part of something bigger than yourself. Because when we come together around stories like this, when we celebrate what humans can accomplish, we create momentum for even greater achievements. We inspire the next generation of engineers, builders, and dreamers. We create a culture that values progress and possibility. The $5 billion bridge uniting the Philippines is more than concrete and steel. It's a symbol of what we can achieve when we dare to dream big, when we refuse to accept limitations, when we invest in our future. And this channel is about celebrating exactly that kind of achievement. So join me on this journey. Subscribe now, and let's explore together all the incredible things humans are building, creating, and achieving around the world. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about these stories. And I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore another incredible achievement that will blow your mind. Now go hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for?